Very good. So first, just short practical information. We were connection. We will not take that now, but we will lift it up within the next session in the program. So that this will not take any time out of this session. Right? So, welcome everybody, and welcome to those who are following online. Where is the camera? There. Okay. Welcome to you. Now, we are very lucky in ECEN to have for some years a good cooperation with two ecumenical organizations in Europe. They have played an active role and an active part of the two program assemblies as well, which have been online. This time we are here in person, and we are very happy to introduce those 5 young persons. They will introduce themselves, but I'm honored to be able to moderate this session a little bit, and I just want to start to give the word first to Stina from Sweden, and please just introduce yourself, and the word is yours.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. My name is Stina Fries. I'm from Sweden. I work in the Church of Sweden. And I'm on the committee, European Regional Committee of WSCF, which is a teaching federation. And I've been since 2019. Yeah. And as you can see, I'm also a religious leader now. This is something that happened a couple of years ago. So I'm in a position of being youth. I'm still being considered as youth in these kind of events. And I'm a religious leader. And I think it's a quite special position because I have the perspective of the youth. I carry a huge disappointment in the older generations. I have a distrust in the leaders of the world. But yet here I am now with a color. So when I was asked to be in this panel, I asked myself, what do the young person in me want to ask or want to say to the leader in me? I'm both. And my experience after being involved in these kind of events for some years now, like since I've been active, engaged in the questions on sustainability and climate change, there are, I would say, 2 types of leaders. You have leaders that simply just don't do what's necessary. They aren't really doing their job. And then you have leaders that are engaged, that really want to make a change, and they are doing things, they're doing great. And they are involving youth, of course, but it's still something, there's something always lacking. We have heard the word tokenism today. That's a huge issue when it comes to involved youth. That's not really good. So what is the big problem? What am I asking for in a leader? What am I asking for from myself when it comes to being a leader, leading youth? And as you know, there are several ways to react or ways to respond to the climate crisis. Of course, we can. I think that for now we can ignore those who are just rejecting the whole idea of climate crisis and not wanting to realize these issues. But if we look at the other kind of responses, there are 3 ways to react. We have those who, when they learn about climate changes, they act. The youth has been super engaged in this, through the climate strikes, demonstrations, youth are engaged in youth acts. And the leaders need to encourage and acknowledge this. Another way to react to the climate change is with anxiety, climate anxiety, existential anxiety. And this group is huge among youth. People don't have any hope for the future at all. They don't want to have kids. They don't attend school because why bother? There's not going to be a future, so why even bother? The crisis is to turn to apathy, and this is a growing number our efforts, despite U.S. Then you have apathy because why bother? Why do anything? And then we have this group that just don't believe that there's anything to do. There is a lack of hope that anything's going to happen. So you just continue to live on as usual. You don't make any changes in your life. You just try to live for the day and, I don't know, the future isn't bright, so why bother? And this group is continuing living the way they know, which involves consumerism, productivity, it's a lot of speed in their life. And I believe that the religious leaders of the world, and leaders in these kind of organizations, have a huge role to play in helping those with existential anxiety and the group that is turning to apathy somehow. But how do we do this? I think that we have to, I think the words of the inner outer journey of pilgrimage is very useful here. A lot of leaders tend to act, they recycle, they eat less meat, but they still haven't perhaps done the inner journey necessary to change. As leaders need to be honest in what we're doing in order to have some kind of future. We need to change both our way of living, but also the more practical way of living. We need both to change certain meat for example, in order to be true values helping us return to apathy or social anxiety. And this means that future leaders of the world are not active. They are not having this hope for the future. So it's not about our own carbon footprint. It's not about our own responsibility for ourselves. It's the responsibility to, nurture the future generations. So what I would say to myself as a leader is do the job. You have to trust yourself that what you do is actually, it matters what I'm doing, what I'm sending out to the younger people. I need what I convey is it matters. So I have to be honest in order to make change and to create new leaders that are active as well. So that is what I want to send to you and something I want to remind myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Stina. I forgot to mention in the beginning that we will have 4 different presentations now first, and then we will have some. You are probably representing one organization. Can you just explain a little bit more about your organization?
So I'm representing World Student Christian Federation in Europe. And this is a global student organization represented in 6 regions, I think. Yeah, 6 regions. It's been active since the 19th century. It's very old. So it's made up of students in different regions that are part of the European region. But as you can see, I'm no longer a student, so my term ends this year. Sorry, is there something to add?
Mention some of WSNY.
Yeah. Thank you very much. we move on to the next presentation. Where that's two of you, right? Yeah. So, Jonas and Christian, please prepare yourself and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. It's the first time I'm doing this, and I'm so happy.
Just
Yeah.
move the.
Okay. So
No. Just move on the.
Very good. Let's start. I've done this 50 times in my brain, and when you have to talk here, it's so hard to start. Well, maybe I start like this. When the EYC asked me in the spring of this year, they asked me to make a presentation well, they said some swear words about it, but I would say they want us to push you, the old people in this room, and to make clear whatever we want, and what we have made with great cause of climate justice. But I'm not an expert. I'm really not an expert. I'm going to become an IT specialist next year. I'm in an apprenticeship. This is my hobby, but this is also my duty to work in a voluntary way in these sustainable topics. But that's why I'm also very happy to be here with so many people that live longer on this planet and that they will know so much more about it. And I'm so happy, but I'm also very sorry to all the people who were standing here when they were my age and they're still sitting here. But thank you that you are still here and still work with us, because there's still so much to do. And I want to say thank you to all the appreciation that we got here as the young people, and I would say thank you to Peter, who said on Friday evening, I don't want to have two sides, because we just can do a very good job when all generations work together. So I would like to start. I was on the German Protestant Church Days this year, and I heard the German professor. You can think about whatever you like, but Eckhard von Hirschhausen said that you would never make a mess at your own home, and you will protect your home, and you will be careful with your home. And he said the people have to understand that their home does not end with their front door. And I would go further. I would say that it even does not end with our garden. It ends with the end of our universe. And I'm very happy that we don't know the end of our universe, because everything we do that inside the universe, it will affect us and our neighbors. And like Jesus said, you have to love yourself like you have to love your neighbors. And I don't want to live in this, destroyed planet. The other thing I found when I did my research, really keeps in my mind, was the following point. Yeah, the IT specialist with IT problems, it's really funny. It's the EIB climate space, so it's the European Investment Bank. I'm so sorry for our animation, it's not on here, but this is the EU statistic, and it's from 2019. So it is 41% before we had the coronavirus, this before we had the war in the Ukraine, which makes me first time think about leaving my country because I don't want to be in war. So there are so many places, there's so many topics and so many fear young people. And for me, actually just software, I'm so sorry. For me, we as the church have the power to be there for people. We often work with the fears and the sadness of people in our churches. But I think we have to go out of our bubble, these walls we're standing in, to the people they need us, and we have to listen to us, what they really fear is. I think this is something that church should do. It is also important for me to get more diversity in it and to, it's so hard to get young people in youth work, but these are topics that are very important for youth. So I don't want to have any discussion with parents who tell me we abuse the children by cooking vegetarian. I want us to influence all the society. I don't have to call the phone number from the Volkswagen boss, but when we as a society influence in a positive way the young people of Europe, we can do more and we can be powerful, and we have to understand that we still have a big voice in the society. Yeah, I'm positive, I'm a realistic optimist, and that's why I'm so happy that I can be here and I see so many people who have the same view on how important it is to do more to it. And I'm also very happy that you and I found some small projects. Everybody can do a small step. We found some small projects that we really enjoyed and found that very inspiring. I would really invite you to discuss more with us and to give feedback about this legislation.
Yes, thank you. As Chris just
just
showed.
Yeah, I said,
okay.
yeah, just
Okay.
questions without the problem.
Thank you, Chris, for your theoretical input. Now we're coming to some practical examples. And first of all, we want to introduce you to the topic of parklets, the so-called parklets you can see here on the two photos. These are types of street furniture placed on former parking lots with the goal of returning public space back to the people. The building material, as you can see, is often wood, preferably in the form of wood pallets. Because of this, they are very cheap to buy and very cheap to build. Furthermore, they can be quickly established on the street because of the fact that they have no wood foundation. So in conclusion, there are lots of practical advantages, but beyond that, they simply provide a place to re-energize, for example, after a long shopping trip in the city, or it's just a place to meet friends and family. So there's also a very big social value together with the architectural art. The whole parklet story began in San Francisco in the year 2013, and since then it spread around the whole world. For example, 60 parklets have been built in Berlin in the last 12 months, but not only city administrations, also the churches are joining in to this project. And here, the left one, here you can see a photo of a parklet that was built by the Protestant parish in the German city of Bochum. So not only the city administrations, also the churches are joining into practical things. Yes, our second topic we want to talk about is urban gardening. Urban gardening means private or community gardening in small areas in the middle of the city, for example, on your own balcony or in flower pots or parklets, as we just seen it. And they improve the microclimate in the cities, biodiversity, and contribute from the Soviet farming structure, one that works without fossil fuels. And because of this ecological change was not because of a turnaround it was because necessity to feed the majority of the population. But this idea of gardening came then to North America and to Europe later. And here on the two pictures we can see Austria, the capital, Vienna. Yes. And lots of people say that Vienna is a pioneer city in terms of urban gardening. For example, community beds or just urban farms, because they have long been part of the city. A good example for this is the Elba Garden, with a total area of 1,700 square meters. There, one gardener has a total of 5 square meters at his own disposal, which can be cultivated with fruits, with vegetables, everything you want. And another project in Vienna is the so-called city farm, you can see here. And there, on a total of 4,000 square meters in Vienna's Augarten, it houses the city's largest tomato cultivation, and in winter, the only fresh vegetable garden in the whole city. And the churches also have the possibility to implement some project like this on their own places. In conclusion, there are so many beautiful and nice opportunities to become active in the fight against climate change, to protect the creation, and to make life in cities more livable. And
Yeah. So
yes,
it might be not what you expected when you go to this place here, when we show you some gardens. But what we want to make sure is to show you that there are many ways to get in contact in a responsible way. And we don't have just to talk to people inside this room. We have all understand what is going on in the world, but we have to go out and we have to make ourselves attractive as the church, and give new roots and new sustainable ideas to get in contact with people and to talk about the fears and problems, etc. So that's what we want to show, and that's at last we just want to say, just go green.
Thank you very much. In the first slide you showed us, you presented also your organization. Can you explain a little bit more about?
Well, no, I would really like to have curriculum here or somebody like Steve who's way more in the ecumenical group. But I try to share everything I know about the EYC, because I'm not very much into it, just for this meeting. But yeah, it's the truth, I'll be honest. But EYC is a group which stands all over our youth organizations in the churches in our countries, and which connects us also. We have an office in Brussels, and what the USC is doing is to connect all of, so one of my best friends I'm working very much in my hometown with, is a bigger part of the UICE, and they try to connect all the problems, and just like you do as a network, the church network, and to get all the problems of the whole all over Europe. But we have a good website, and I think the website is smarter than me, so sorry.
Thank you very much, Christian and Jonas. Yes, that is Ecumenical Youth Council of Europe. And then we have Sana. You are also representing the World Student Christian Federation. Yes, please. The floor is yours.
Okay. Perfect, thank you. If you don't mind, I'm just going to read out my text which I prepared, so I can act as I do this spontaneously. First, thank you to my previous speakers. I'm very honored to be here with such an engaged and motivated group. I think you shouldn't take that for granted. I will talk a bit about the sustainable development goals, and I will talk a lot about them during the last days. But I think I try to give them to youth organizations and how we as youth
organizations can actually support them. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. This is only one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals launched by the United Nations in 2015 within the framework of the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development. What's special about those goals, with their individual targets, action points, and scientific approaches, is not their reminder about the climate emergency and their impacts. Special about those SDGs is the holistic approach to a sustainable future, recognizing both the global responsibility as well as the intersection of sustainability, equality, and justice on all levels. Therefore, other SDGs address topics such as ending hunger and poverty, providing good health care for everybody, and ensuring the availability of water for all. The importance of achieving sustainability on all levels to tackle the climate emergency has been addressed during this year's ECEN assembly many times. Changing your lifestyle and adjusting economic regulations is something that is not affordable for every society or individual. One example, this year I traveled with a local parish to Israel and Palestine to encounter different civil society organizations. During this travel, we stayed a couple of days in Talita Kumi, some of you may know it, an evangelical school in the neighborhood of Bethlehem. Every morning and evening we ate and drank in their cantina delicious local food. The only thing was, while we ate from porcelain plates, drinking water was served in plastic cups. From a European perspective, this was very odd to me, especially because the EU regulation banning single-use plastic was not long ago, in 2021. And I also wondered why they don't simply use reusable cups and put them in the dishwasher, just as they do with the plates, of course. The answer from our local guide to my question was simple but alarming. Because of the limited access to drinking water in Palestine, they must keep the use of water as little as possible. And therefore, plastic cups are being used instead of washing additional dishes. This was not striking to me because I wasn't aware about the bad water infrastructure in most parts of Palestine. But it was striking to me because everything in this guest house seemed to be normal, except for this little detail. No, what I want to share with this anecdote is that one sustainable goal cannot be reached without striving for the other. When we don't have a minimum of wealth, infrastructure, and basic resources, the discussion about changing your lifestyle and taking personal responsibility is kind of useless. When I speak about the intersection of SDGs, I speak from the perspective of a youth activist. To be more specific, my perspective is that of a member of an ecumenical student organization, the World Student Christian Federation. WSCF was founded in 1985 with the goal of empowering and connecting young leaders around the world on their path to changing tomorrow. To reach this goal, WSF deeply believes in democratic values because only if free speech, freedom of religion and belief, and true participation in society are possible, one can have a significant impact on other people's lives. That is why ecumenical activism is at its grassroots deeply connected or has been in youth organization in their lives. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, that's what I'm doing. But I think I'm speaking not only for me, but I think many of you are still young and can resonate with it. To quote the mission statement of the European section of WSCF, because as Tina mentioned, we have 6 different regions and we are both the European continent. Inspired by our common Christian faith, we campaign for a just and peaceful world. We are a progressive Christian voice, aware of our political responsibility. We educate and empower one another to be leaders and critical thinkers. We build meaningful relationships. We share and cultivate our passions. We embrace diversity as gifts. We pray and worship God together as one community. We explore our common faith in Jesus Christ, which makes us one. To fulfill our mission, we organize different events, such as capacity building trainings and study sessions. A few examples of our actions in the past are the intergenerational Eco-Justice Advocacy Academy in May 2023, a study session about faith and advocacy for human rights in the 21st century in December 2021, and a social media campaign about equal vaccine distribution during COVID, together with different ecumenical partners such as ECEN. All our study sessions are funded by different church and youth programs, which is why they are usually free of charge for participants. Please remember, having money to spare is usually not the strength of young people. But what has this to do with my initial reference to the UN Sustainable Development Goals? Let's have a closer look at goal number 4. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. By offering an open space for young students from Europe and around the globe to encounter and learn from each other, as well as from qualified speakers, we strive to do what the goal says, ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education. Where people are educated, where people are inspired by each other, metanoia of our hearts and minds begins. This is more or less true for every motivating educational surrounding, but as you all know, this applies especially to surroundings motivated by the ecumenical spirit. As I said earlier, all goals are interlinked with each other, and education plays a special role in this. Education has an enormous effect on our personal views and lifestyles, as well as our willingness to enter discussions about important values such as sustainability and equality. Therefore, providing education for everybody decides about the success of the realization of all the other 16 goals. I could go on and on how the NGO organizations support the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development with their work, but I also have to take into account that most of you are not considered a youth activist now, even though you are probably still at heart. That is why I'd like to end my keynote with a few words about how you, as representatives of different churches and church organizations, can help us in fulfilling our mission to make the world a better place. First, share your room. What I mean by this is that churches have plenty of room to offer, just like the one we are sitting in. For example, church buildings, community centers, guest houses, and many more. And youth organizations are typically not known for having those rooms and material resources themselves. So they are dependent on the hospitality of their brothers and sisters, especially when to visit you and get to know you better. Second, share your stage. What is the use of good ideas if nobody listens to them? I'd like to refer to Hannah Rosa at this point when I say that we need people who have something to say as well as people who will hear it out. So, one easy step to produce resonance and to produce new ideas is to share your stage with us. You can do so by simply inviting us to your assemblies, like Pete did, panels and other kinds of events. Additionally, you could feature our own events and resources in your newsletters and publications. The possibilities are limitless. Let's explore them together. Third, share your knowledge. Churches and church organizations produce plenty of resources such as publications, guidelines, and training programs. So sharing those with us, which many of you already do, is a good way to support us in our own educational activities inside and outside of Europe. And I'd also like to invite you to join us on our journey, as resource persons, as speakers, as activists, and simply as friends. Thank you all for your hearing us.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And then the final one, Yasmin, or how do you pronounce it? Yasmin, yes.
So I suppose for the presentation.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so yeah. So hi everyone, my name is Yasmin, I'm 20 years old and I'm also a member, so I also belong to the WSF, but as a member of the German Catholic Youth, and so I'm very glad to be here.
And who am I? So I currently study business administration at the University of Düsseldorf, and I'm an activist in many fields related to finance, business, and economics. So it actually leads to my presentation topic, so greenwashing. And yeah, so let's start off with the table of contents. So first of all, I'm going to give you a short definition of what greenwashing actually is. Then I'm going to present some ways to how to identify greenwash products, which are actually 7 ways. And I'm going to give some industry examples, so for the most relevant industries, I'm going to go further on business stories, political campaigns, and then I'm going to explain the role of people labels, applications, regulations, and if there's time for doing so, I give you a short example of the USA, and then I'm going to tell you what to keep in mind. So let's start off by the definition of greenwashing. As you can see here, I brought a quote with me, which is let's pretend to have the environment by using remarketing. As you can see, what is written in bold is not the environment, it's pretending. So greenwashing is all about when companies use brands or marketing techniques, in order to persuade you to believe that the products are green or environmentally friendly. So, for example, just imagine you would go into a store and you would buy a bottle of plastic for shower. So, and there's written some kind of a label which should tell you it's ocean plastic. So what most of the people would assume is that a specific amount of those plastic is from plastic which is put in the oceans. This does not necessarily have to be. So it might be that like 5% of this plastic is used, but this is like an amount which is not really relevant. So it just is more about the marketing than about actually being active.